everyone, I'm Carolyn Desrosiers from Scribely, and thank you so much to Bold Blind Beauty for having me on. I'm going to be answering a few questions about accessibility and telling you a little bit more about what we do at Scribely.
Why are you so passionate about accessibility?
So I'm passionate about accessibility because I'm passionate about inclusion. I feel like we all need to think about ways that we can embrace our diversity, because that's really what makes us human after all. A great way we can do that is by creating spaces that everyone feels like they belong to. And the web is just another one of those spaces. It's a virtual one, but it's really one of the most important resources we have at our fingertips. So with everything going virtual right now, I feel like the web is it's providing access to our world, and we need to think about how to make it accessible. So I knew that I wanted to dedicate my work to this effort. And what Scribely does is we are an accessibility services company that specializes in describing images and videos on the web so that they can be accessible to people with disabilities, and in particular, people who are blind or have low vision. And I wanted to solve this problem because there is just a tremendous amount of visual information on the web. It's really surrounding us. Think about all the ways that you are engaging with images on a daily basis. You could be scrolling your Instagram feed, or shopping online and looking through product images, or reading an article, looking at your favorite artist's new content. We're really surrounded by visuals, and it felt like it was just this massive problem, and we needed a vendor that understands how to describe these images to people with visual disabilities. So I think that providing alt text is just like a really simple and great way to improve your diversity and inclusion, but also create these spaces where people feel like they can belong.
What is alt text and why is it important? How does it help increase SEO on a site?
So first, to define alt text is essentially a visual description of an image on a screen. And we're placing these alt text descriptions within the HTML code. So they're kind of working behind the scenes, but they're extremely important because people that are using screen reader technology or text to speech are essentially tabbing or scrolling through your website or social media and having your text and your visual content read out loud to them by that screen reader. So when the screen reader comes across an image, if an alt text description is present, it will describe that image to the user. If it's not, the screen reader will just skip over the image as if it doesn't exist. So alt text, very important for accessibility purposes. It's also great for your SEO. And what we're seeing just as a search trend that's happening right now is that really a lot of users out there are using images to efficiently search the web for exactly what they're looking for. So if you're including alt text, you're also telling Google how to direct users to your site and to your image through your images. So alt text, great for customers, great for business, and it's just a win-win all around for diversity and inclusion.
Can you tell us about some of the challenges people with disabilities face when images and videos aren't accessible?
Yeah, so a lot of challenges around inaccessible images and videos. As I've already mentioned, we have images and videos on social media and on websites, but they also exist in other places. For instance, on streaming services like Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max. We're watching video content all the time, and it's being churned out at such a rapid rate. And there is a lot of video content out there that does not include audio description. And what that is basically voiceover that tells you about the visual details that are happening within the video on screen, so that people who are blind or have low vision can also watch those videos. And we need to make sure that we're making these really popular TV shows and movies that we're all so excited about. We need to make sure that those are accessible. Also on being informed about the world, news agencies using images and videos to show people what's happening in the world. This has been really become really popular just using images and videos as visual aids. And we need to see more news agencies that are properly describing the visual details so that people who have disabilities can also engage with that content and understand what's happening with the world around them. I think just in general, taking accessibility back to the beginning of the content creation process and thinking about how we can work that in would be a really great way that we can kind of set a new trend to make sure all new content that's produced is accessible.
What are some steps companies can take to create accessible content for the disability community?
Yeah, so in terms of getting started, I would say just don't be afraid to take, the approach of just chipping away at it slowly. When it comes to image and video content, it's really important to do the work properly. So I would suggest just starting with your top selling products or your top selling titles, or if you're an individual, make your social media feeds or posts from now on accessible. And there's a way to just chip away at this over time. I'd also say that there are a lot of accessibility services companies out there that are here to support you. If you're looking for an audit, there are companies out there that do that. If you're looking to get the work done, we've got companies like Scribely that are ready to help you actually write the descriptions to make those images and videos accessible. So I say just don't be afraid of this. Don't get intimidated. I mean, we deal with this all the time. We're writers at Scribely. So you got to get over that writer's block and just start doing it. Just dive in. And, I think that you'll find along the way that it becomes more natural part of your process, and you can actually be really proud of the work that you've done for your followers and your customers.
How can people get in touch with Scribely?
Thanks, Bold Blind Beauty, for these great questions, and thank you for watching and listening today. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, send us an email at hello@scribelytribe.com, or you can follow us on all the social media platforms at Scribely Tribe, or if it's LinkedIn, it's just Scribely. But we'd love to hear from you and start a conversation about how we can make this a great year for accessibility.